But the truth is out there.
The truth is out there.
I hear that somewhere. There is something I thought I saw. That's all I'm going to say, and I can't explain it. And there weren't any weather balloons, and there weren't any low-flying craft, and that was before the days of drones, so it sure the hell wasn't one of those. So I don't know what that was. It just kind of hovered and took off.
Let's bring to the stream the one and only Larry Musser.
Ladies and gentlemen, hey, listen, thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here. This is I was very pleased when you invited me on.
Well, we're very pleased to have you. It's such a treat.
My pleasure. My pleasure, darling. Let me tell you that right now.
Oh, thank you, dear. Thank you. All right, so let's get this party started with this first question we have for you. You had mentioned to me previously that you come from a very musical family. You said your dad played the clarinet and your mom played the piano, and you, of course, played the drums.
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up in a musical family, and what drew you to playing percussion?
Oh, wow. That's a complex answer. I'll give you the Cole's Notes version of that. I loved growing up in a musical family. When I was, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old, they would have a band there playing in the living room, and Dad would be on clarinet, Mom would be on piano. There was another guy on drums. I was just a kid, right? And there was what else? I think there was somebody. Mom played the piano, Dad the clarinet. Oh yeah, there was a sax guy and a banjo. So they were just whooping it up in the kitchen, and they'd turn around, see me there, and say, "Get back to bed." And I'd go, "No way, I'm here. I'm staying right here for this." And I would just be so happy to be there, growing up in an atmosphere like that, you know. And well, drums, I don't know. Why did I do that? I think some of those old instrumentals that were big hit records. There were so many guitar players. Everybody played guitar, it seemed. Not many drummers around. So I thought, yeah, I'll give that a shot. And I liked it. I got a little kind of a mini set, and then the set got larger, and we played in a rock and roll band for a while, but you would never hear of it because we never cut any music. It was all cover version, playing dance halls, and
What was the name of your band?
The Henchmen.
Oh, that's a good name. That's good. I like that. That.
Henchmen. Well, unless you were around the East Kootenays, you don't know where that is, do you?
Nope.
Do you know British Columbia in Canada?
Vaguely.
Okay, that's the western edge of the country, is British Columbia. Now I live on the coast. When I was a little guy, I lived in the interior of a town called Kimberley, which was in the East Kootenays. And we played all around the Kootenays, up and down various dance halls. It was a blast. That's all I can say.
That's amazing. See, and it's always good to know a drummer. I feel like there's never enough drummers.
No,
yeah, I was going to say, that is still the case, that there are a lot of guitarists and not enough drummers.
Oh.
There.
God, I love a bottle.
I love it.
I just happen to have one of my djembes nearby.
Love that.
I love that you just have a djembe.
Well,
as you do.
Yeah. Well, I did play again recently with a guitar player singer who has, one of those setups that plays all the instruments, and it does have a sort of a basic percussion track on there too. So I would bring all my djembes and jinglers and things and play fills with him, and that was fun for a few years. That was recently too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Love that. So I happen to have heard about a conversation that you and Kid had about the first time that you saw Santana in 1970. And I would love to hear more about that.
Wow.
And that was at Winter Garden, you said?
Winter Garden, San Francisco.
Can you tell us about that?
That was mind-boggling. And let me peer back through the haze of the marijuana smoke to that room in 1970, And The warm-up act was a great singer-songwriter named Hoyt Axton. Are you familiar with Hoyt Axton?
Oh, no.
He's written a lot of songs that you heard. So other people recorded them, So I would have to look him up again. But he wrote "Goddamn the Pusher Man" and all that, and actually a number of songs that got a lot of play back in those days.
Nice.
Listen, when Santana came on, and these percussionists opened the show, and don't forget, like Tito Puentes was his conga man, for Christ's sake. That's a guy who had his own jazz band shortly after. He was one of the conga guys, and then the other guy, Arturo, somebody, was also brilliant. I mean, my jaw was down for hours watching that. And then, of course, Carlos Santana. I mean, he's just an explosive force on the guitar, right? It just echoed all around that room. I was mesmerized. And I thought, I don't play drums. I never played drums. I think what drums are played now.
I'm also pretty certain, if I remember my music trivia well, I know Santana holds some record as far as the most amount of Grammys for something. I'm going to have to remember, but I'm pretty sure Santana is up there for winning the most amount of. Yeah, for sure.
The album that came out in '99 called Supernatural, that album alone won a ton of Grammys.
There you go.
It kind of cleaned up that night. But, going way back, I don't know if those great albums, the early albums, 1 and 2, I don't think the Grammys gave much leeway to progressive rock bands back in those days, I mean, they didn't even give Led Zeppelin a Grammy until way, way later. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Led Zeppelin? I mean, how do you overlook Led Zeppelin? They were bigger than life, those guys.
Fair. And our buddy in Megadeth, I think they just got their first Grammy not too long ago either.
First one.
Yeah.
Been around for so long. What's going on?
And great musicians. I mean, how do you overlook that? Try doing what they're doing if you don't think it's that good.
Yeah. I only have my one Grammy. I won a Latin Grammy in like 2012 or something like that for a track with a singer named Don Omar. So I got my little Latin Grammy, and
well, that's fantastic. You got a Grammy. Did you help write the song or sing it?
No, I didn't. I was brought in to actually only speak on the track. I'm not even singing. I'm talking in a British accent, and then somehow the song won, and that's the story. I don't know how I got my non-singing Latin Grammy. Anyway,
hey, you know what? Doesn't matter how you got it. You got
it. There you go. It's still on the resume.
You know that.
It's still one more Grammy than I'll ever have. So there you go.
Don't never say never, because when we re-put together the Henchmen and we get our Grammy,
right?
Then there you go.
Well, listen, if you're going to do some powerhouse vocals up front, then we may have a chance there.
We're available.
And plus, you do write songs.
Yeah,
we're available. So
yeah.
and I like those songs that you played. What's the name of the site? The site I listen to your songs on. What's it called?
Well, I put them on Twitter, but I also have them on like SoundCloud, Spotify. They're all over the internet. Yeah.
I listen to them. Well, those are good songs. Those are good songs.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think we can start tuning that up there. I'll see if I can add a fill to any of your music.
Nice.
Great.
You did that version of Highway to Hell. I love that.
Oh, thank you. I actually, so Danica and I, we do a lot of the conventions together, and at that particular convention, they had karaoke after. Yeah. So I did Highway to Hell. What did you sing, Danica? I know your go-to.
I did Blues Traveler's Hook.
Oh, yeah.
So you both sing.
Yes.
And you both write.
Yes.
Oh, well, hey, this is a band then.
And I'm actually, my husband bought me a mandolin for my birthday this month. So I'm currently learning how to play the mandolin. And yes, I am learning, Andrew.
Yeah.
I am learning. I know how to play quite a few chords, and I'm, fiddling around on it now. So there you go.
I like the sound of mandolin.
I love it.
That Rod Stewart song that was a big hit, Maggie May. That starts with a beautiful mandolin by a folk rock artist of that era. Yeah.
There you go, Danica. Who needs the mandolin when you could just sing it yourself?
Right.
Yeah. Yes, you can sing the mandolin.
I'll do it. Yeah.
Sure.
It could be a new thing.
Okay, so one of the other things that we learned about you, Larry, is that you're also a former radio DJ. Is this is this true? And is this something like how did that whole thing happen? And is it something you would want to do again?
I always loved radio. I always did. I had just graduated from the University of British Columbia in Vancouver. And I got a job as a quality control chemist, a really good job at a burgeoning pharmaceutical company. Ooh. And I would be rich now if I'd have stayed with that damn job. But I didn't, because the lure of the entertainment world was just always there. It always was. Growing up in that family like that, it was always in me, right? Couldn't get that out of there. So I saw this broadcast course, and it was great. They would get you to do a little basic, like introduce a record or just some patter or even an announcement or two. And then they would send it to DJs in LA and San Francisco. And so these guys would get back to you and say, what the hell are you doing? I mean, don't try to do a bunch of stupid voices. Be yourself and just talk like you talk. I went, okay. These were like big, major DJs. And I thought, I think these guys are giving me some good advice here. So that was a very great lesson. And it still applies to, I think, everything, acting, whatever, music, whatever it is, you got to put yourself in it. And that's what makes it different than everybody else. If you don't put yourself in, if you're trying to sound like somebody else, you'll just be another copycat, right? Or another
clone of the same,
Exactly. So that was great advice. And so I finally got a job in radio, and it was in a smaller town in the interior. And then I worked away at it with an idea coming back to Vancouver, but a big city station in the prairies offered to hire me. So I went that way. I went east instead of west. I had to get back into acting to come back out west because that's where all that was happening. So, yeah, so I loved radio. I met so many good people in there, and of course I did talk shows, I did pop radio shows, but my favorites were the progressive rock FM shows, where you could just be pretty relaxed and say any kind of shit you wanted and play a long track. Right. I loved that. It was just, I don't know. I just took to that.
That does sound like a dream.
Yeah. Well, was there any particular song that when you got to play it that you were really like, oh yeah, this is my jam?
Yeah, I think, any of those great progressive rock bands of the 70s, any of those, pardon me, from Zeppelin to Yes to Jethro Tull to Genesis to The Who, all that stuff they did on Quadrophenia.
Oh, yeah.
Like that, so orchestral, so complex. I would love just playing a great big piece of that for everybody rather than the 3-minute, well, there it is, there's number 7 this week, and now it's time for the weather. You know what I mean? Instead of doing that, you would play the whole thing and then you just talk after. What did you think of that? Give me a call, send me well, there were no emails in those days. It was like to send a message, you'd pretty much have to write a letter, right? It would be a letter back in those days. Remember those? Or is that before?
I do.
Oh, no, we remember letters.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I still send thank you cards by mail.
Yeah, do you?
I sure do. My mother taught me well.
What about Christmas cards?
When I get around to it.
Yeah.
And we're actually doing a letter campaign on Sunday with our friend to send letters to, I think, unregistered voters in Georgia to help them register
for the runoff.
Oh, yeah, that runoff is so important. Eh?
Yep.
So, yeah.
In Georgia?
Georgia.
Yeah.
We're coming for you, Georgia.
You know, the fact that Georgia flipped is pretty amazing, isn't it?
Right?
Yeah.
All of those states that
It
flipped.
is.
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It's just, yes.
Yeah. I guess that woman, Stacy, really
Stacey
was
Abrams.
instrumental.
Mhm.
Yeah, she is a hero.
She's amazing, eh? She's
So, well,
forceful a speaker. I mean,
what has that been like for you, Larry? Obviously, you're up in Canada, but
yeah.
but you seem to have been following the election as it was going down here in the U.S. What is it like as a Canadian, kind of watching from the border and seeing what's going on with us down here?
Well, you know, you're our neighbors, and you're a great big country and a very powerful country. And, you know, personally, I love America. And then when this last bozo was in for 4 years, I started to go, oh, man, he's wrecking that place. He is absolutely taking a great big jackhammer to everything. And so I really started following, and I got on a lot of Twitter campaigns and email campaigns to try and point out that this guy's got to go. And
We appreciate that.
yeah, and
We got him out.
he's out and he's still hanging around like, geez, you know what? He's like a giant blood clot who's right there blocking
like a canker
the arteries. You know, like, please get some blood thinner and get him out of there.
Yeah, I think I got some in the closet. I'll have
Oh,
to.
good.
Yeah.
I love it. This is the first time I've heard him be compared to a blood clot, and that might be my new favorite analogy. That's amazing.
Well,
Oh, man.
that's what he is. You know,
Yeah.
if the
That's so
nation is a human body, he is a big clog in it right now.
Yeah.
And
Fair enough.
how can he get away with that? It's only his opinion that the election isn't legitimate.
I wish I could explain that, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of Americans are having trouble explaining anything.
Here's how I can explain it, right? So we have to remember that before he became the president, he's a reality TV host.
Yeah.
Right now, he's giving us reality television right before we're about to cut to commercial break is what we have. It's like, watch these commercials, and then after the break, we're going to see who
Right.
gets sent home. Well, we already know who's getting sent home, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the reality. He's a reality TV star.
I
So
know. He was the guy who kept saying, "You're fired. You're fired."
Mhm.
And he made a whole, you know, he was apparently almost bankrupt, and that TV show brought him back, right? And
He's been bankrupt several times. It's
yeah, it's
should
really
be
kind of
more
weak.
embarrassing than it is for him.
It's weak, isn't it? You know?
fair.
Well, anyway, let's jump to a more light topic, if you will.
But we are happy he's beat.
Oh, guys, good.
Yeah.
We're glad to hear it.
We're very happy.
Yeah.
So something that, of course, and of course, Kid, also know you from one of your big starring roles is in X-Files, and I was hooked as a child. I was far too young to be watching the X-Files, and I got started when it started, so I was probably 9.
9, okay.
So I probably shouldn't have been watching it, but you know, nightmares happen whether we want them or not.
Fair.
They do.
I still have a big soft spot for X-Files, and I absolutely adore it. So I have to ask you some X-Files questions. So,
I'm happy to answer them.
so first of all, what was the audition process like for getting onto the show?
Oh yeah, that's you have to sort of pay your penance there a little bit, if I can use that terminology. You would be called in to read for a fairly small part, right? And you still went and tried to show that you wanted, even though a lot of people say, I'm not going to do a dinky part like that. Well, you see, to me, that's really wrong-headed. You should do, just to get in there, you know, you should always want to do whatever comes available and do it the damn best you can, because then they'll say, hey, you know, that guy's pretty good. But
There
if
are
you
no
go,
small
"Oh,"
parts, only small actors.
Exactly. That's very true. You know, I'm 100% supporter of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I never, ever thought that. And so I would read for the small parts, and I didn't even get them at first. But finally I got the one where it's the witchcraft show, and I was the sheriff up in the
Mm-hmm.
pelting rain woods, and witchcraft was going on. And you know, that wasn't that big a part either, but I really loved doing it. And I tried to do something with it, you know, like not just read the lines and go, yeah, pay me. I wanted to do something with it to try and make some character out of that. A pretty straight guy, and I didn't want him to be straight, so I made him weird straight. So they liked that, and then the next time they called me in, it was the bleeping detective, which it became an iconic role, right? Had I not taken that other thing and done that with it, I wouldn't have got the shot at the bleeping detective. You see what I mean? So
that's right.
Yeah, I mean, I went to a lot of auditions and got nothing, and I'd leave and go, what the Christ am I doing wrong? I mean, what is it? And it wasn't anything wrong. In fact, my agent said, every time you go in there, they like you, and they really want to give you something that is really good for you. And I went, yeah, okay. But as it turned out, that was true. That was true.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
And so after that, then each year they were in Vancouver, they gave me something on the show, like the paramilitary guy, kind of like a Trump supporter, right?
Fair.
You know, with all those guys with guns that showed up in Washington, I'd be in with them, that guy.
Right.
Well, only I still wouldn't support Trump. I support some other guy, maybe some wacko from South America, not Trump. Yeah.
Fair enough.
And then there was the sheriff, the police chief on the Stephen King one. Well, that was a real plum roll, that one. And they gave that one to me. You know, that was pretty nice. Pretty nice.
That is awesome.
There was a lot of LA guys who were up for that part. You know, like the guy that was in Fargo, the Fargo movie.
Yeah.
Really? The husband of Frances McDormand.
Oh,
he's really good, you know. And I thought, you know, they were considering when they said, you know what, we're going to give this to you. And I went, thank you very much.
Heck yeah.
Nice to hear.
Well, Danica, we're going to have to get you out to an X Fest one of these days, because that's where Larry and I met in Chicago. I think it was the second X Fest, right?
Yes,
X Fest 2, Electric Boogaloo. And I mean, hopefully, you know, once all this passes and the world gets back to normalcy, then we'll have the third one. Yeah. And then, you know, we'll get to hang out. We'll have our band play.
And we can be the opening act.
Yeah, make sure that we get a spot on that music lineup, and
definitely.
I'll try and get to town early, and we'll rehearse a couple of songs. Right?
Done. But I was going to say, Larry, you know, I think you definitely left a big impression on a lot of us that were there at the convention. I wanted to say thank you for being so kind. I mean, you're so nice to everybody. I see the way that you interact on social media, you know, with all of your new friends that we met at X Fest, and thank you for being so kind.
Well, I'm glad you think so, because I always try to be a person who likes people, you know, and if I'm talking to someone, I'm not going to talk to them as though they're nobody. I'll always talk to somebody that like they're really somebody, and I want to be interested in them too, because if you're just talking about yourself all the time, that's pretty lame, isn't it? I mean, you already know you. Find out something about them, right? That's the way I look at it, and I'm always happy that, you know, I realize people came to that from all over the place, and
all over the world.
I know they were up. I wanted to know all of them. I just wish I could have. And you and we only kind of crossed paths a couple times and had brief conversations.
Yes, and just in fleeting moments. I think I forget who introduced me to you, or if I just ended up at your booth or whatever. But they left an impression on me, and I'm glad to call you my friend.
Well, I'm glad to be your friend, and I want you both to be my friends.
Yay!
Can we do that?
Yes,
please.
Done. That easy.
Love it. True.
Okay. Larry Musser is my friend.
Yes, I am. I'm your friend. I'm happy to be your friend. And I'm happy to be your mom.
I might cry a little bit. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry.
Okay, Larry. So here's another big question.
Okay.
What are your beliefs on aliens and alien life forms? Do you think that the truth is out there, or is it just swamp gas?
No, there's got to be something out there, don't you think? I mean, if you start looking at the number of, first of all, the number of stars in our galaxy, the Milky Way. Mm-hmm. as our good friend who had the show on PBS that died.
Carl Sagan.
Yeah,
Carl Sagan, yeah.
Great guy. He would say
My
billions.
dad took astronomy from him.
I loved him, loved him. And so I watched those shows all the time. And I have a degree in science from UBC, and I most certainly believe that in all those galaxies, huge, some of them, some of the suns out there make our sun look like a marble, right? Mm-hmm. And there's all these bodies whirling around. In one of those somewhere, there's got to be something.
Yeah.
You think? A life form.
I feel like we would be selfish to think that we were alone in this universe. I mean, I just think it's a selfish thing, but maybe we're selfish people. What do you think, Danica?
Oh, I absolutely think there has to be, because exactly like Larry's saying, I also read quite a bit of sci-fi, so and quite a bit of science
fact.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. So and I've read some. I try to pretend that I can understand Stephen Hawking's writings. But I don't know that I do. But there's one of my favorite new sci-fi books that I've read is called The 3-Body Problem. It's a 3-part series, and it is just it's terrifying, but in the best, most logical way. Oh, I highly recommend it.
What's it called?
The 3-Body Problem.
3-Body Problem.
Yes, which is it's actually a scientific problem. It's a basically a mathematic and scientific physics problem that has never been worked out. Okay. But this is a series of novels based on sort of that conundrum.
Okay.
Oh my! I just read.
I'm always interested in that stuff, and so I'll look that up. If I Google 3-Body Problem, it'll take me there.
Yes, it's the writer. The last name is Liu, Liu.
Liu.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. So, Larry, do you think that you've ever had an encounter with an alien life form or a paranormal being?
Well, I think there's been a couple of, again, going back through the haze of the marijuana in Vancouver.
I've never heard of it.
I'm pretty sure I saw some stuff that was hard to explain, but I don't know if I was just, I shouldn't have had that last puff, or if I was actually seeing something that was inexplicable, right?
Maybe it's brought clarity.
There's always explanations, like for lights that dance and then they're gone and all that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I did see that once.
Oh, see, we're friends with a guy. His name is Steve Gonzalez. He's from Ghost Nation. We have him on here about once a month, it seems like now. And he believes, in the science of the paranormal. Mm-hmm. And the way that he explains different things is so interesting to me. Because I don't think that he's ever actually had an encounter with the paranormal, but he's always on the look to see, hey, maybe today's the day or this episode is when it's going to happen. But I always like knowing the science behind everything.
Oh yeah. That's key. It really is. And there's a lot of science that would make me believe that there's something out there. But I don't know, but the truth is out there.
The truth is out there.
I hear that somewhere. There is something I thought I saw. That's all I'm going to say, and I can't explain it. And there weren't any weather balloons, and there weren't any low-flying craft, and that was before the days of drones. So sure the hell wasn't one of those. So I don't know what that was. It just kind of hovered and took off at a very, very unseen previous speed. I mean, just gone. So, perhaps a trick of a light or something. I can't rule anything out, but it just added to maybe I wanted it to be something, maybe that was the thing. Because I hope there is another life form other than humans, because humans are really screwing up the atmosphere, the globe, nobody's learned not to stop doing that. That's in positions that can make decisions. and that makes me sad. So I hope there's a smarter intelligence somewhere that will come in and go, no, don't stop now, right?
Help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're our only hope.
Yes, Obi-Wan.
I was actually just envisioning Kang and Kodos from The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great one. Fair.
Yeah, something like that, you know.
Well, speaking of possible fiction, what fictional place would you most like to go? No, it's kind of a weird question, but
You mean of the fictional places I've encountered in my time, which one would I like to be at?
No, any fictional place ever created.
Wow. That's one that I'd want to mull over a little bit there, I think.
Fair.
There's been a lot of them. I would say that some of those places in The Lord of the Rings, I wouldn't mind having a look at.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
not more
Beautiful.
they're
Yeah.
just maybe not next door to a Knight Rider or something, but some of those places look pretty fantastic. Like it took your imagination somewhere else, right? Yeah.
Definitely.
And in any of those outer space where somebody creates a planet that's not ours and they do it well, I would like to check that out. What about you guys? Where would you want to be?
Ooh.
So the first thing that just came to my mind would be like maybe Hogwarts Castle, like in Harry Potter, because I would like to be able to like have a magic wand and do spells on everybody. That would be fun. So maybe there, or a world where Back to the Future exists and I can hang out with Doc Brown.
Okay. That would be all right.
I want to be in the DeLorean. What about you, Danica?
Yeah.
Gosh, that's I'll have to get back to you because now it's just blank because now, I thought of so many things that now I've got nothing.
Well, what about like from a show that you've directed or something? Any shows like that stick out to you?
That I was in, you mean involved in?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there are some fantastic places that they were created to be something other than Vancouver. Vancouver's a very nice place to begin with.
So I hear.
Yeah, a very nice place. But sometimes it was made to look really special in some of the shows that I did. And, I can't honestly think of a specific and give you a title. But some of those would have certainly, I would have gladly stayed there rather than end the scene and leave.
Fair enough.
Like the scene ends, they say cut, you leave the set, and then they tear the set down. Oh, I'll tell you what, the movie The Edge, that log cabin they built that we shot a bunch of it in, I'd be happy to be there for quite a while.
Sure.
That was beautiful. The only drawback there was it got to be winter there and quite a bit of snow, and the temperature drops significantly in December, January. So that would chase me away. I grew up in Kimberley in the mountains, way up in the mountains. Got cold and snowy there. I don't need to go back there.
No. See, as a Floridian, like living in Miami, it's like 70 out today, and 70 is like, get your Ugg boots, get your sweater, your scarf, your mittens, your hot chocolate. We're like, here we go.
70 is cool there, eh?
Yeah. But okay, Danica, why don't we each ask one more question, then we'll go to the game.
Sure.
So, okay, Larry, do you collect? We have a game.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Do you collect anything?
Yeah, I have a really good vinyl record collection. I have a portion of a baseball card collection, most of which, the valuable part, I lost, a long time ago. I kept it. I didn't throw them away. I kept them. I took them to Edmonton where I did that radio show, and they disappeared. They just disappeared. We used to have these parties, and I had them. I had them in this big bag, and they were like all, elastics around them in different categories, and I had them in a corner of the room, And I think somebody at the party, the parties were packed sometimes. I think somebody just kind of eased those out the door.
Swiped them. Yeah.
I think so. I have
What a
no
jerk.
proof. I have no proof of that, and I have no evidence that that was what happened, but they vanished. They were just no longer with me. And that pretty much drove me around the bend for a while. I mean, I had to take tranquilizers when I realized those
Oh
were
no.
this was a collection of a lifetime, since a little boy and the bubblegum cards and keeping all those. Mickey Mantle, Ted Williams, he's on my wall behind. All these guys I had ball cards of. Really, I was in a pretty deep depression for a while there.
Oh, Larry. Oh, God. Sorry to trigger that. Oh, gosh.
No, sorry. Let me get good for snapping me out of that. Thank you. The other, I do have a few other things I collect. I got a lot of books here. I don't know. I'm not I guess I don't collect art or anything like that. Ball caps. I got a lot of ball caps. I got a ton of ball caps. Every time I go to a major league game, I get at least one ball cap.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
And what about your collection?
Ooh.
So.
Well, yeah, I can see the posters behind you.
So I have a lot of, and one's on the ground now. I have a lot of these like little vinyl figures.
Oh, cool.
And Funko Pops. I don't know if I could get to the Funko Pop. Oh, wait, I can't. Hold on.
You two are in different rooms, aren't you? You're at your own places?
Yep. Well, yeah, Danica's in
I'm in Texas.
Oh, God, yeah, of course. You already told me that. Hello. Yeah.
But yeah, I have a lot of these Funko Pops. I love my Alice Cooper ones. He's my favorite.
What's it called? Funko Pop?
Yeah, Funko Pop. So basically they make a bunch of little figurines of different characters. So I have probably 30 or 40 different ones of these.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. What about you, Danica?
Yeah, what do you
Sorry.
Well, I'm a huge nerd, so I collect plays. I'm a theater director by day.
Oh, are you?
That's my normal life.
Oh, nice.
If I had an industry, which I don't right now, but
it'll be back. It'll be back.
I collect plays. Like I collect anthologies. I collect things like that are single plays from Dramatist Play Service. All the Dramatist publishing. Like, I actually just a friend of mine was like, "Hey, our theater department at the university he teaches at, I uncovered this huge stack of like 150 plays. Do you want any of them?" I looked through every single one of them. I probably took 75% of them home.
Oh, wow. Is that right? Well,
I'm a huge nerd.
Where do you put those? Separate room?
I got 2 shelves here. And then we have 3 more bookshelves. Some of those have my husband's books and things.
Yeah. Occasional spaces for his stuff. Right?
Sure. That's cool.
But, art in general, my husband and I both are painters as well, so we do all of the art things.
Oh, you're artists.
Yeah. So he actually painted this, which is my logo for my other podcast that I used to do and probably will do eventually again, which is Theater Nerd. And this one I did, which is based on a podcast that I love.
Those both look very good.
Thanks.
Oh,
so Larry, did you ever do like live theater, or did you?
Yes.
Mostly.
Yeah. When I started, I didn't go through the normal channels. I went from the media. I was a radio guy, and then my wife actually got me to audition for a teleplay they were doing, and I went, audition? I don't do that. I'm a radio guy. She said, this is a role where you could just be yourself and you'd be perfect. I went, okay. I go in there and of course I get the part, right? And then that's what triggered my whole onslaught of wanting to be an actor. What was that? Doing that and enjoying it so much, right?
Is there a dream role?
Yeah, there's a few there's a few dream roles, all right. I would love to play McMurphy One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, sure.
Jack Nicholson did, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that would be such a fantastic role to dig into, wouldn't it? I mean,
Danica, can you direct that?
Yes, please.
okay, well, let's do the play then. I'll do the live theater version.
Yes, I
Can we
will
get the rights?
happily come to Vancouver for that.
Yeah.
Oh, love that.
You know, I used to live in Seattle, and I'm still mad at myself because I never got up to Vancouver. So.
Oh yeah, too bad. You know, I just did a play. I got into live theater later. I had some health issues in the early 2000s, kind of knocked me off the film circuit, and we moved up here to this little town north of Vancouver called Sea Shelter on the Sunshine Coast, and I got out of going on back on that goddamn rat wheel, and because I'd had a heart attack, and I thought, okay, I got to start looking after myself here, and I started doing live theater, and so that's what I've been doing more of lately. Until X-Files. I mean, those guys, Josh and called me and said, would you do this X-Files thing? That was my re-entry into being interested in film stuff again.
Yeah.
I'd been doing live theater for quite some time.
Yay!
I did a great role in, have you heard of the play Art?
Yes.
Yasmina
Reza. Yeah.
I played Mark.
Ooh.
The guy that hates the painting. I love that role. That is one of my favorite roles ever. I mean, the fact that it was just local theater, that doesn't matter. That role was fantastic.
Yeah. When you've got a well-written piece, I mean, it's hard to go wrong.
No, I loved it. I really got into it.
Yeah.
I became Mark.
Oh, wow.
Good play. Oh my God.
So if you know that play, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Mark is the one that hates the painting. See, are you familiar with it at all, kid?
No, I've never heard of it.
Okay, 3 men, friends forever. One buys a piece of art, and I'm the first one to see it. And I look at it, and I say it's a piece of shit. And he gets a little kind of, gets his back up at that and starts saying, well, what do you know about art anyway, really? Right? I think that, this is written by this was painted by this great artist, and all it is like a few lines, faint lines on a white background. I'm going, you spent $200,000 on this, and I just can't get that out of my head, right? And it gets so that it overwhelms the friendship. The third friend comes in, and he wants to be the peacemaker. He wants these 3 friends to stay together. He doesn't want to have them blow apart. He just makes it worse. Because he tells the one guy that bought the painting one thing, and then he tells me the exact opposite. And of course, we find this out. So now all 3 hate each other. And it just starts getting crazier and crazier and more insulting and harder to take. And then there's a big blow up at the end of the play. I won't say because you may watch it someday.
Is it a 1 act or 2 act, 3 act?
Well,
how many acts?
It's 1 act.
It's a 1 act. Cool.
Yeah,
wow.
It's nonstop. I don't think I hardly left the stage for the hour and a half, and maybe, oh yes, I did go off at one point where it's him. The other 2 guys are talking, and he tells the guy about the painting all this bullshit after he told me the opposite, right? And when I see the other guy about the painting next, I go, oh yeah, he said that, did he? Really, he said that. Interesting. And then I go back to see him, and it just starts getting momentum. It's so multi-layered and so multi-leveled. It's written by a woman, and she writes about these male friendships as though she's been in one. Hey.
Fair.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's lovely. It's very well done.
Okay, I think we should play our game now.
Okay. I don't know what the game is, but I'm ready.
Oh, it's a game of Would You Rather. So there's no wrong answers here. You just have to pick between the 2 choices. Okay. And if you want, you could give us insight into your answer, or you could just give an answer. There's no incorrect answers here. Okay, let's bring up the graphic. And Danica, you want to read the first one?
All right. So our first one, would you rather have a pet skunk or have a pet porcupine?
Okay.
They're gonna get weirder, so
I'm
don't
going
worry.
yeah,
to take- that's a tough one, but I'm
the
going to
quills or the smell?
I'm going to take the porcupine.
Oh yeah, why's that?
Well, because the chances of you coming out in the middle of the night and stepping on this poor skunk and then having him release that harsh vapor that can really, it gets in your eyes, on your clothes. Now, this guy, of course, it would be bad too. That would be harsh, but you can just pull those out and put a bandage on and carry on. This guy, you got to wash the house.
Yeah.
Right?
It's stinky. Fair
Yeah.
enough. All right, here's the next one.
Okay.
Would you rather travel back to the Renaissance era or be able to travel forward to the future?
Oh man, that's I love the Renaissance era, the painting and artwork and the poetry and the literature and there were so many brilliant scientists, inventors, and what a great time to be around. You could shape the future if you went back there. But having said that, how do you turn down a ride to the future, hey? See what became of you and everything else. Oh, that's a tough one. That's a real tough one. But I'm going to take the future. I'll go to the future.
Future it is.
I like it.
Okay.
All right, our next one. Would you rather only be able to play an electric drum set or have to play a different set every time you play?
Oh, I'll take that without even thinking about it. I'll play a different set every time.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, look at I got djembes. See, I mean, and I had a kit of drums before that, and bongos, and what else have I got here? Listen to this. I got all kinds of
Oh, got the tambourine.
Oh yeah.
really interesting things like.
Oh, what's that?
See, I mean, there's so many different percussion instruments. That's why I picked number 2.
All right.
What is the thing you're holding?
Yeah, what is that? It looks like Pringles. Okay.
It's actually it's chameleon or iguana or something. That's the shape it's in, but it's for making that. In the Hispanic music they do that.
That's so cool. I like that.
I want to crack my back.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay, different set. All right, here's the next one. Would you rather have an encounter with a human that has a supernatural ability or encounter with an alien?
I like the Stranger Thing girl. The Stranger Things girl. She was pretty fascinating,
Yeah.
And to have a kid with that kind of ability be pretty hard to resist, wouldn't it? An alien, I don't know what you get. It might be trying to pull your eyes out, or it might be wanting to drink your blood. I'll take what L is her name.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take her.
Nice.
Fabulous.
All right. Would you rather, assuming we can go back in time anyway, attend Woodstock or attend Live Aid?
Woodstock.
Oh yeah.
Santana played Woodstock, right?
Yeah, Santana did all kinds of my all-time favorites. Played Woodstock. I love Queen, and I did see Freddie Mercury in 1977. He was fantastic.
Oh,
But in Edmonton, they played Edmonton in '77, right after there was Bohemian Rhapsody album. That was Night at the Opera, and the following after was called Day at the Races, I think. Night at the Opera, and then that had just come out, and he played a pretty powerful performer, and Brian May on guitar. I mean, wicked.
Right?
Yeah. So as
okay.
tough as that is, I'm going with. There was such a wide variety of people I
Janice.
Yeah.
One of my favorite performances of all time, getting to watch it back, is with a little help from my friends. What's his name?
Jockey.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
That performance was
Yeah.
It's unreal, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Like nothing else. Nothing else. But I don't know if I would have wanted to deal with the crowds and the porta potties. So if I could have watched it on TV, I would.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was a big problem at Woodstock, right?
Yeah.
That would have.
Not enough food, too many bodies. All right, here's the next one. Would
Okay.
you rather?
Where Woodstock happened.
What, Danica? What?
I've been to the town where Woodstock happened, and
Where's it? New
nothing
York, right?
exists there. Yeah.
Oh, Nazgur's, whatever. Yeah.
It's really little and weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Next one. Would you rather live in the universe of the last movie you saw, or live in or star in the last TV show you saw?
Well, because I'm an actor, I want to star in the last TV show. Right.
Do you remember what it was?
Yes, I just watched it last night. It was called The Undoing.
Oh, I don't know that.
You watched it? Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant?
Somebody just told me about this yesterday, though. It's on HBO, right?
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, it's good. I think you should watch it if you get a chance.
Ooh.
All right, HBO, if you're watching, call up our main man, Larry.
Yeah.
He's
There you go.
available for next
Show.
season.
There you go.
There you go. I'm recommending Undoing.
Fabulous. All right, here's the next one. Would you rather always talk in rhyme or always sing instead of talk?
Oh, wow. You know, that's not as easy a choice as you might think on this one. You know, if you're always talking in rhyme, you're either going to be a rap artist or a beatnik from way back, right? Yeah.
Fair.
You got to be one of those to talk.
Or
in
Dr.
rhyme.
Seuss, yeah.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah, the who's it's and all those things that come tumbling down the mountain. Always sing instead of talk. That might get tiring, you know. But so would talking in rhyme get tiring too. Oh, for God's sake, I'm a lousy singer. I'll talk in rhyme.
All right. All right.
All right. Our
These
next
are
one.
crazy questions, by the way.
Oh,
I
Thanks.
love them.
all right. I think this is our last one, actually. Would you rather have E.T. live with you or have a conehead live with you?
We are from friends.
No contest here. I'm going Conehead without hesitation. You know, they crack me up so much.
Yeah.
And I would gladly welcome any one of those three into my home and talk Conehead with them.
Oh, I love it.
Mass consumption. We are from France.
Yeah, from friends. Oh, so good. Well,
Mass consumption. Yes.
so Larry, since we've come to the end, is there any final thoughts that you want to leave us with here today?
Final thoughts that I would leave you with about me or about you?
Oh, in general, just
Or
whatever's
about
on your
you.
mind.
Well, this was delightful. I enjoyed the hell out of talking to both of you.
Thank you.
I'd say that's the biggest thing I'll take away from it. And leaving you with a final thought, I hope and pray and wish all the best in moving on with the new administration in your country.
Thank you.
And I hope that happens with all dispatch, because this guy doesn't realize how ridiculous he is. He's like a little kid who is, you know, the game's over and he says, and you lost 11-0. No, I didn't lose 11-0. None of those runs counted. Right. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing.
I actually saw one that you'll appreciate, I think, Larry, is one that I saw earlier today that was a conversation between an actor and a producer.
Yeah.
And the actor says, "So I got the part?" Producer says, "No, the other guy got the part." He goes, "No, I got the part." Like, no, you didn't. He's like, "Well, that's fake news." Producer's like, no, get out.
Was
Is it
a
that
comedy-
easy to get roles?
Was that a comedy bit or was it real?
You know, it's hard to say.
No, I got the part. No. I'll see you on the set at 7:00 in the morning.
Right?
You won't be allowed on the set.
Go away.
That's how I'm going to go out for roles from now on. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
my role.
Yeah, just say it. Like as you're leaving the room after the audition, just say, "So, when's the first shooting day? I'll see you all there." Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm first on the call sheet, right? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Thank
okay.
you.
And I would rather the Bentley pick me up, not the Mercedes. If that's okay with you.
Oh, is the Porsche in the shot? Okay, the Porsche is fine.
Oh,
And the
okay,
masseuse?
yeah.
Okay, great.
Soon as it's
Well, Larry, you've been an absolute delight. Thank you so much again. This has been
well,
so
I'm
much
glad
fun.
you thought so. And this was
Yay.
a big treat for me. Big treat for
Yay!
me.
Well, thank you for, giving us your time, and we'll have to do this again.
Sure. Yeah, call me again because there's a couple topics we didn't get to.
That's true. There's always
we rarely. Yeah, there's always,
You didn't get to my ruined baseball career. You didn't get to that.
oh gosh.
Well,
Oh,
we'll save that for
another
part
time.
two. We'll save that
Part
for part
two.
Oh yeah.
Make sure to watch out for part 2. Okay, so I'm trying to remember the rest of our guests because we have this thing booked out till December now. So on there they are. On Thursday we have Michael Morona from Pete and Pete, also from Home Alone.
Oh, yeah.
On Friday, Icarus Bell, who does our theme song. They are releasing the song Aces, and we're gonna party it up with them. That'll be fun. Following Tuesday, we have Brian O'Halloran from the show Clerks. And then Thanksgiving, which we're going to celebrate. Then Saturday, we have Ryan Roxy, who is the guitarist for Alice Cooper. And we're very excited about that. And then we also have, well, going into December, but we don't want to bog everyone's minds. But anyway, Larry, thank you so much again. And I guess we'll see you guys on Thursday with Michael Morona. Be safe, everybody, and wear a mask, please. Social distance, do the good things. And we'll see you guys real soon.
Thank you.
C'est mon plaisir. C'est mon plaisir.
Au revoir, mon amis.
Tu comprends?
No. No, I
It was my